What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is your host here, Hugo Stiggs, and I'm here with Lay of the Land, and I'm here with two special people. I'm here with Nick Paranti and Matt Stabeldon.
Paranti. I love how you pronounce my name.
Paranti. Yeah, I always say it like that. Even Connie says it like that, my wife.
It's actually pretty good. So since Crow's incapable of doing a solid introduction, I'll just tell you what you guys are going to experience here with this Lay of the Land podcast. The whole purpose of this podcast is to talk about land-specific topics and to address specific events that are going to be happening in and around the Pittsburgh region relatively soon. So, in retrospect for Pitco, we'd be talking about the Iron Storm events, Sudden Lands, and anything we have going on in the future. And that's what we have Matt here for. He's going to talk about an event that he has coming up here in April, along with an additional event that's also in April, the day before his event. So, I think this is something we could potentially do on a regular basis. We'll see how it goes. So, all right, gentlemen. I wanted to get into a first topic here. It's really the only topic that I want to talk about beyond the events that we have coming up. And it's something that's been pretty pertinent since November. And it is the comparison between the Xbox One sales compared to the PS4 sales. So I made a nice little slide for you guys to view here. I think it's pretty self-apparent that the Xbox One is absolutely getting destroyed by the PlayStation 4.
Sad.
I don't know how you guys feel about that, but the biggest shock to me is MLG, which is pretty much considered the competitive standard for video gaming across the country, decided to go with the Xbox One. And for nostalgia purposes, for tradition, I can see it, being the proper choice, but compared to sales, it's not. I mean, if you guys looked at the chart that I sent over to you, you can see right now, and the sales date is as of March 8th, so it's not reflecting the sales with Titanfall added in, but the PlayStation 1 is almost selling, PlayStation 1. PlayStation 4 is almost outselling the Xbox One by double, and it doesn't look like that trend is slowing down. I mean, do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, in terms of MLG, I mean, Microsoft is always going to have Halo. And if you got Halo is one of the mainstays of MLG. Whenever a new game comes out, no matter how good it is, it's going to be part of MLG ever since Halo 2. So I think that's one of the big reasons for picking up the Xbox.
I definitely do agree with that. Maybe that's another reason why too MLG is also doing that, is that they're trying to bring up the sales on Xbox One. Maybe they're trying to do that. And I mean, Xbox One's tradition. It has a much greater feel compared to the PlayStation. And I actually grew up on PlayStation. That's just my opinion.
See, I grew up on PlayStation. I never really got into the whole Xbox scene. I dabbled with the Xbox 360 just because I kind of fell into peer pressure. Everybody was playing Call of Duty, and I wanted to see what it was all about, and that lasted all about 3 minutes for me. But if I'm MLG, and the majority of the console gamers in this country are using the console that I'm not supporting, I mean, does that bode well for the company?
I think it's a pretty poor business choice. When you have a company like Microsoft, you're bound to get a killer app somewhere in here, and I think that's what Titanfall is gonna do. But if things stay the course right now, you're gonna end up being that company that made the wrong console choice and alienating a whole bunch of consumers. So I don't really think it's a good choice at this point, with the knowledge we have now, that MLG went with the Xbox One over the PS4.
I mean, I think you said it in a nutshell. I think that with Microsoft and Titanfall, they're really going to put a lot of weight in that. I mean, I don't know if it'll have the competitive prowess of a game like Call of Duty or even Halo. I mean, the game's been out for 2 weeks, and we know that console games don't stick. I mean, it's in 6 months somebody's going to be looking for the new title, but maybe Microsoft is really going to back this product to say, hey, we're going to push out updates for the next year on this product, and MLG is going to pick it up, and it might be the next Call of Duty or the next Halo. You never know. But I don't see it, man. I mean, the thing about it is with MLG, when it formed, it was basically fighting games, Halo, and I mean, it's starting to dabble in the PC market whenever it comes to StarCraft 2 and League of Legends, things like that. I mean, StarCraft 2 for a little bit longer than League, but I don't see it. I really don't see it. I just don't know why MLG would pick the PlayStation 4. If you look at it from a company perspective, organizations like the CPL and Cal and stuff like that, it's always like one bad business decision, and then they cease to exist. And I just don't want to see that happen with MLG. So, what do you think, Crow?
I don't know. Pretty much what I was just saying before. I don't know. Maybe personally, there's some kind of like deal out there where they're trying to get everyone to go back to Xbox One. Like, oh hey, MLG's playing Xbox One. Hey, we should play Xbox One. That's just my theory, and I'm gonna stick with that.
Well, just to close this out, to make one note, January 2014, the PlayStation 4 outsold the Xbox One 2-1. It's no secret. You look at the sales there. February, not as much, and March, I think with the addition to Titanfall, you're gonna see that gap of monthly sales close up. But I think PlayStation 4, they've got such a strong lead, and I can tell you right now, I've been in 3 or 4 Walmarts, and I couldn't tell you how many Best Buys, and I've yet to see a PlayStation 4 on the shelf. And there's plenty of Xbox Ones to go around. So, I don't know.
I think Titanfall is going to bring it around because just myself, I just picked it up on Friday, and I haven't stopped playing it. Like, it's just so good. Like, I haven't got off my Xbox One. It's so good. To me, it is a Call of Duty killer.
I'll pick the game up whenever I don't have to play it on Origin. So, simple.
Yeah. Although on the subject of Titanfall, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the old Quake. It's kind of a more accessible Quake. If you guys played Quake back in the day, yeah, some of the movement options are pretty cool. I'm kind of glad to see those return shooters.
Hey, man, I don't know if you know, because I don't think, Matt, you've ever been to a Pitco event, but we still rock the Quake 3 Arena at every event, and it's always a pretty big deal. So.
I'm so bad, but it's so fun, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we play it in the worst possible way that you could possibly play it. So, if anybody's ever been to a Pitco and anybody's listening to this or watching this video, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So,
oh yeah.
All right, well, now that we're talking about events, this is a perfect transition. April was a big month for LANs here in Pittsburgh. Like, no joke. I think we kind of had a reemergence of Pitco interest. Back in the end of February with the Sudden LAN. We had the biggest turnout for a Sudden LAN we ever had. The LAN sold out, and well, it didn't sell out, but it registered out in like 30 hours. I mean, I don't think we ever had a register out that fast.
You had a lot more too.
Yeah, I know. We actually had additional show up beyond the max registration we were going to take. But the first event I want to talk about is actually Steel City LAN 2K4, and that's actually happening over at CMU. I didn't even know that this LAN organization existed. We were contacted by them to see if we could assist with some power or just overall assistance to see if we could, lend our LAN expertise. But what's really interesting about this LAN, they are playing a multitude of games. I'll just run down them real quick. Dota 2, League of Legends, StarCraft 2, Super Smash Bros Melee, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter 4, and Blaze Blue. But the interesting thing about these games is the majority of the preliminary rounds are being played online. So the LAN itself is more of a showcase of the finals than anything else. So it's going to be very similar to that MLG fashion, where it's going to be there'll be many more spectators there than there will be competitors. And I think that's something unique to Pittsburgh. I don't think I've ever been to an event like that. I've never seen anything like that here in this city. I think the closest thing I've ever come to going to an event like that would be MLG Columbus, and I don't think that we'd ever see an MLG event here in Pittsburgh. I'd like to see it eventually, but I think this is a step toward the right direction. So, either one of you guys attending?
Obviously I am. The first actually LAN that I've gone besides Pitco, and I'm actually really excited for this, especially to help out and partake in anything they have going on there. And I really wish they had a Smite tournament. I'd be all over that, but I understand Smite is still uprising, and it's not even the official release isn't even coming out yet. Well, actually, it's coming out 25th, I believe.
Yeah.
But still, though, I mean, that's a lot of awesome tournaments, and I'm actually really excited to go, honestly.
Yeah, as for myself, I plan on being there, at least part of the spectating event. I'm not sure if I'll be participating in any of the games, since I'll be preparing for my own event the next day. But I've been to a previous LAN event. They held a League of Legends thing, and they did the kind of the same thing where they did the preliminary events online, and then they did the finals at the event. And it was a really cool spectating thing. I don't know anything about League. I don't do MOBAs or anything like that. But
you're a better person for it. So just you don't start. Let's just put it.
Yeah, don't.
Everybody has their game. Everybody has a game of choice. They're all crack. Don't do it. It's just bad. It's bad for your health. So
I definitely agree.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it almost made me think about starting, just like watching it and seeing people get hype over it.
I thought for sure, Matt, you'd be using this as like a warm up for the real deal that we got going on the next day.
Yeah, but I'm kind of an organizer, and I try not to play in my own tournaments just for the sake of making things run smoothly. But if things are going, if things look like they're gonna head okay, then I might enter for some melee action.
See, the great thing about playing in your own tournament is if you win, everyone can just call you a cheat. So I enjoy that, but that's just me. So I don't know. I mean, I'm really excited. I'm gonna go to cover it. So. Beyond if they need any assistance, I'm going to take pictures, do some interviews. I'm going to try to hash out some gamer interviews. It's something I haven't done in a really long time. But I think it's going to be, it's going to be great exposure for Pitco, because I don't think the majority of the people that go to Pitt or CMU even know Pitco exists because of the turnaround of college students every year. And two, it's going to be great content for the Pitco website and for the community. I mean, I don't know about you, but I always like looking at pictures and listening to audio and coverage of different events. So I'm really excited for it. I want to see what another LAN organization can bring to the table on a large scale, because this isn't a little event. Like I don't want to try to shoehorn them into being like the next fire hall LAN party, but I really think that from hearing past experiences that people have had with this LAN organization, I think it's going to be something good, and I think it's something I'm going to be really impressed with.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
No doubt about it. These guys are good.
That's cool. All right, well, I'm going to jump right to the second event, which this is the reason why we have Matt on here. But the following day, April 19th, 2014, at the O'Hara Student Center on Pitt's campus, we have Fight Pitt 4. And it seems like it's the creme de la creme for Super Smash Bros. I mean,
yeah, it's definitely. It was kind of a breakout tournament last season. I'm not sure if you guys know some of the big Smashers names, but we had two of the quote-unquote Big Four show up at Fight Pit 3, Mango and Mewtwo King. And people showed up just for them. And they're going to be returning, Mango and Mewtwo King. We're going to be having Video Game Boot Camp stream, which is one of the two premier streamers between Video Game Boot Camp and Clash tournaments. They'll be streaming Fight Pit 4, and they usually pick up, anywhere from 1,000 to like 14,000, depending on the scale of the tournament. Let's see here, what else is going on? We have Wife coming in, one of the legendary Smash commentators of all time.
Nice.
It's gonna be mad hype.
I tell you what, dude, I didn't even know that the Smash community in Pittsburgh was as big as it is. Completely in the dark. I mean, the reason why I even found out about this event was because a gentleman by the name of Nick Carroll, I don't know his alias, but I think he's a part of like the ring that you roll with.
He goes by the tag PGH Carroll, and it's weird because I would say that the university Smash scene is kind of separate from the greater Pittsburgh Smash scene just because of the inability to travel. But I'm kind of like this weird go-between since I hang out with both crowds.
Yeah.
And I think because of my contacts at the university and the fact that Carroll's such a good resource for the larger community, I think that's what made Fight Pit as big as it is.
Yeah, I mean, what happened was he made a comment on the Steel City LAN 2K14's Facebook event about additional details. He wanted to gather some additional details to see if there was going to be any kind of confliction between your event, their event, and if there would be any possibility that competitors would be able to play in both. And I was thinking to myself, wait a second, there's another event? So I started doing a little research, and I messaged him. He actually didn't reply back to me immediately, but eventually did, and he's actually the person that gave me your contact information. But I started looking into it, and I found the posting that you made on Smashboards. And I could not believe it. I was completely blown away. I had no idea. And then I joined a Facebook group that was associated to Smash Brother community in this area and had 200 and some members, I was just shocked, absolutely shocked.
Was that the Neo PGH group, or was that?
I mean, talk about a hidden gem. I had no idea. I mean, I peruse Facebook as much as any other person, and I see, Pitco, where we have almost 900 likes, and obviously I know not all those people are from Pittsburgh, but to see another group that's that niche. I mean, Smash Brothers is a very niche game. It's not like MOBAs or RTSs or first-person shooters. It's one game, not any other fighting game. That niche, to have that many people playing it in one area, I don't know. I was just really, really surprised. I was pleasantly surprised.
I'm actually quite surprised it's that huge. I mean, just like knowing this and this is going on, like that many people. I mean, I remember like seeing a few tournaments at Pitco for it, but I'm like, man, I remember playing this like back on N64. Like like that was when I was like my prime. I was like 13 or something like that, and that was about it. But I'm like, I didn't know it grew so huge, and that's actually really awesome. I mean, I never really followed it too much, but I'm gonna have to like literally go grab my little sister's Wii or something like that and play it. Like I'm gonna have to do it.
Well, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, it was always like it always had like a cult following. So like we always had tournaments where like they would be smaller. So you could generally count on a baseline of like 30. You can sometimes get 50 to 70. But with Melee's recent inclusion in EVO 2013 and return to EVO 2014. What else? Recently, the Smash Brothers documentary was released, and that has like over 200,000 views. The community has exploded, and because we already had a healthy base, it's just we're feeling it so much more.
Well, I have to ask you, what's your character? Like, who do you play?
I am a Fox main. Yeah.
Do you remember back to your N64 days, Crow? Who'd you play?
Who did I play? I think it was always Link. Yeah, I think Link was always my favorite, just because like that's when like Ocarina of Time came out, and I was just like always playing.
I've watched my fair share of Smash Brothers, and I've seen way too many people play the two characters that you just mentioned. I'm pretty sure those are like, I don't even know. I don't even want to call. I can't call them like pro tier characters because everybody plays them. I want to see somebody play like the heroes or the characters that nobody plays. Like I don't know, Matt. You can answer this better than I could, but how many people show up and play Kirby? Because Kirby's my jam.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Kirby. Go on, though. I'm sorry.
So if we're talking Smash 64, first of all, Link is garbage.
Hey!
Arguably the worst character in the game.
Okay, all right, but it was Samus too. Samus and Link. Samus is shitty too.
Those are probably the bottom two.
Oh wow!
There was like 5 characters in the whole game. Like there wasn't much you can be.
Yeah.
Pikachu was 1.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like everyone death combos everyone in that game, so it's mostly a matter of recovery with them. But we don't really have Kirby mains in Melee, but Kirby is probably somewhere like 2 or 3 on the tier list in 64. So
that's right. Kirby's still representing up there. All right. Yeah, because like Crow said, the only time we ever played it was we had it at Iron Storm events, but we always played 2s, so 2v2s, and it was always on like the same map over and over and over again. But we would always have at the event a lot of people played. I mean, even people that never played the game before would sit down and play it just because of how fast the game was, and it was always really enjoyable to watch it. And it was one of the few games, like I love fighting games. I don't play them all the time on my own, but at a LAN event, I'll pick up a controller and play any fighting game. I absolutely love fighting games. And Smash was always one of those games that I could pick up and play and be relatively okay at it. Well, I take that back. I would always partner myself with somebody that was really good, and they would carry me to victory. But I felt good on the inside because we still won as a team. But I don't know. I mean, I'm really excited for this Fight Pit 4. I plan on doing the same thing for this event that I'm going to do for Steel City LAN. I'm going to go cover it, take pictures, do some interviews, and hopefully this is something that you guys will continue to have on an annual basis because I think the potential for this is going to be pretty huge.
Yeah, well, I believe we're going to probably go on hiatus during the summer just because most of the kids are gone, but look for it to start back up in the fall. It should be pretty fun.
Cool.
All right, gentlemen. Do you guys have any closing words for this, the first edition ever of Lay of the Land?
Well, on the fact that we're talking about N64, I'm really on the like. I have this feeling I just want to play GoldenEye. Like I just want to go back and play GoldenEye now. Like that was like the shit back in the day. But now I want to go and like find like Super Smash Bros. Like I want to go and find it on a PC and whatnot. Like man, Mario Kart. See now you guys got me on this bender.
Hey, brush up some melee tech skill. It's gonna be a huge event.
All right, and
All right.
on the last note of this lay of the land, all I gotta say is I want to give a shout out to all my Kirby pros out there.
All my Link fans out there.
Keep it strong.
Master Race.
Keep it strong. All right, guys.
Bring Link back.
Yeah,
bring Link back.
I appreciate you guys coming on for the first episode of Lay of the Land. We'll probably do this again whenever we have a little bit closer to the event to do some more plugs, and maybe we can even have Matt back on to plug it again. Oh, I think we lost Crow there.
Yeah, I think my webcam froze.
Yeah, your webcam froze for a while, and we lost Crow. All right, well, that's a good note to close this this podcast on. So I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch, taking the time to participate, and we'll see you around. Signing off.
Have a good one, everybody.
Hadouken!